What's up, guys? It's your boy, Casper McFadden, and today we're talking about ghosts. I personally had some kind of experience with ghosts. I always wanted to believe that they were real. It's always a thing that I enjoyed to think about because it breaks in reality of just kind of what everyone does, and which is die. Vampires, werewolves, they're not really that much of a thing that could be based in reality. It's more so superstition. I mean, ghosts are also superstition of haunting something after you've passed onto the other world. But I think this is more so, there's concepts to it, and what afterlife is. I mean, is it an astral plane of existence? Is it an afterlife? Do you just hang out as a spirit? Is it just you just are in the ground? I like to think that it's just you just are in the ground. Personally, in my opinion, I think that's one of those things where it's not really much to it. I'm not a big believer in God or anything like that. So, I mean, I think that if it's just, in the ground and that's it, it would make sense to me. But I mean, personally, that's just my opinion. I want to talk about ghosts because I think it's weird that a lot of things that are based off of TV and movies, a lot of negative, scary kind of, things where it's like supernatural and those, Conjuring movies and Coco and Casper, very negative stereotypes on ghosts, and it just doesn't look good. And I think it's kind of messed up to think that ghosts could be a thing, and it could be something that is legitimately something that people do become. I think it'd be interesting if that was a world that we lived in, and that was something that was not out of the realm of ridiculousness as far as what happens when you do pass on into some kind of other world, whether or not it's good or bad or heaven or whatever. I think it's mostly enjoyable because to think about is because it's the concept of there is something else after that life. I know a lot of the stuff is just paranoia, superstition. I used to live in a basement where it was just like you'd have a little fuse box in the back, and supposedly that is something that would get you think paranoid. Always feel like you're being watched from being watched from somewhere. EMP kind of stuff, from shitty shows like Ghost Hunter, which I'm sure they're legitimately, elaborate or whatever. The Ghost Hunter guys never really find anything at all besides kind of voices, and I think it's kind of ridiculous that it's something that is a show that was around in the 90s, and I fell for it. The 90s, 2000s, I guess. I fell for it. I think that I watched that show a lot, and then when I got to the point where I realized that every episode was a big cock tease for the next commercial, it got to the point where I kind of just stopped watching. But I think ghosts could be possible compared to, vampires and even the Sasquatch. I think it's a concept of people don't realize that this could be a thing, and if it's someone's afterlife, I think it'd be somewhere where I'd want to live my life the most I can, and not take the chance that I have another life, or alter life, afterlife, a part of that. So I think it's something that is not completely entirely impossible. I think if you do have stories about that, you should definitely share them if you can in the comments below. I'd love to hear ghost stories. They're very interesting as far as just little small weird occurrences or people who've been around. I always like those stories about like people who used to live somewhere and then things would happen that they used to usually do and they're not around anymore. I find those the most interesting. Not so much the scary ones. I think that's stupid. I just think the concept of them trying to still live their life as they've passed on is very interesting to me. But I mean, I'm not too big on. I'm not a big skeptic, but I do enjoy the concept of ghosts. That's basically pretty much it. I think it's not ridiculous in the sense of they're vengeful or they're evil or anything like that. I think it's just a matter of it's just a concept of I don't know. It's just a concept of wanting to have something connected to our afterlives, and I think that's the fun part of having that kind of world as far as, you know, ghosts and stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. Give me your opinion in the comments below. You know, I'll be able to you know, get some kind of concept of what you guys think ghosts do. Also, I have videos coming out. I've been kind of getting lazy, just kind of playing games for fun. I have stuff that I've recorded with Bones and AJ and Dan and the guys. I just haven't edited it and finished it yet. It kind of just been, like I said, getting lazy, just playing kind of Blackout or Overwatch, or, you know, just whatever. Well, that will eventually come out. I do have the 100th episode or video of In My Opinion, so hopefully I'll do something fun for that. I have some ideas in mind, so hopefully we'll get that, I think, in about 5 weeks. This would be the 95th, I believe, so we'll come up with something to think about for the In My Opinion 100th episode or whatever. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And oddly enough, I ended up watching, you know, one of the best forms of information in TV, which is Drunk History. I watched a Drunk History on the Stonewall riots, and I had no clue that there was something, an event that had pushed to a point where, you know, the Ellen community